Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday if it's your Friday, or happy Saturday if it's your Saturday. Welcome. How we doing? Doing good? Ready to enjoy your weekend? To have fun? Maybe to work? What's it gonna be? Got a bit of both. Great to have you here. And on Wednesday we uploaded the hypnosis session, which was cool. I'm actually having so much more time to do other things, like even prepare for this one. I've made some notes. I made notes. First of all, thank you, Nancy, for becoming a member on YouTube. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Very kind and supporting the show. Hey, Cheryl, all the way on your Saturday in Australia. I'm ready. Hey, Tanya, great to have you here as well. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got a new... Oh, look at that. I see what you did there. You put up the new profile with my favorite creature. Right, that's one, right? Hey, happy Friday to you. Welcome. Happy Friday. 9 likes already. I can see 10. Maybe there's one more. Hit that thumbs up. You can't see him. Mr. C is actually right there. Can you see a little outline? He's right there. That's how dark this room looks right now in the camera. Hey Mina, welcome back. Happy Friday to you. I hope you are doing well and good and great. Ah, that's awesome. What a great pick. I'm gonna be one of those. I'm gonna be one of those when I grow up. Exactly. Just one of those. I don't know if can you see Mr. C if I get out of the way more. I don't know if the focus changes. But he is right there. Oh, you see him? And I set up the camera for him to be over here. I can't see him in my picture. But he's there. Oh, he just moved. Did you see him move? He's now moved. He's gone off into the sunset. Or the sun. Clocks change in America tomorrow evening or midnight or whatever it is. So we're back to the usual schedule for those outside of America. At the moment it's 10:04 p.m. in England, 3:04 p.m. For me. Oh good, please you're saved. You need to save those bunnies. That's what he likes to think. That's what he tries to tell me. Oh, I had a funny sleep last night. I was in and out and all about. So I'm a little bit tired. You're most welcome. Phones do it themselves, so that's the only pain when you get into your car. Or I got like a micro oven. I've got a oven and microwave. Gotta change those ones, right? Whatever it is, usual time. Whatever it is, like the usual time throughout the year, whatever that is. I always forget because of the time zones in Australia. So we fall backwards, don't we? So we get an hour's sleep. So it'll be backwards, right? Or forwards. I forget. We'll see, right? We'll see. I had a couple. No paralysis, thankfully. It was just because I was warm. When I get hot, I think I have More nightmares. Okay, you think it'll be 8 p.m. What is a turkey thankful for? Hopefully that it's not Thanksgiving yet. Do you have turkey at Thanksgiving? Or is it just Christmas? In America. Oh, that is true. That is very, very true. Gotta thank those vegetarians. What else have I got to report? Because it's been since Monday. We put a new app update, which solved when you were offline. There was a bit of a funny bug which didn't kind of bring up the UI, but that's been solved. So that's an update. Okay. I always use time and date, world clock converter. We'll put my area and then we'll put Sydney just for ease. Sydney. And then we'll make sure we do it for, say, it's gonna be Sunday, but let's just do Monday of November. And then it's gonna be my 3 p.m. Pacific, which then makes it 10. It'll be 10 a.m. for those in Sydney. And I'm sure for those in Australia, you'll be able to work it out with your time zones, because I'm not fully aware of, I know how many roughly, but I'm not sure. I know rough locations of cities, but I'm not sure where the line stops. But it's saying 3 p.m. on Monday is your Tuesday at 10 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, and I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, I was just adjusting. But it didn't work out. That's right, I knew that. You're 19 hours ahead of me. 19 hours. It's crazy, right? $19 hours. 19 hours. So I've got work a bit tomorrow, group coaching call and all. Plan the streams for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I'm gonna relax. I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch the football because of the timings this weekend. But we are at 23,919 subscribers, so we've almost hit for 24,000. So that's pretty cool. And per month now we're reaching 80,000 views per month, which is a total of 85,000 watch hours. So we're almost, it says here, 29% more views than usual. 5,500 in the last 48 hours. So the YouTube is growing. YouTube is growing. If we can double that, we'll be close, or if not there, to the podcast of the 5.5. Maybe I'll get 5.5? No. Yeah. I need about 10,000. I need 5,000 views per day, not 48 hours to be able to match the podcast. But we're halfway there. So subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell. I'm in the past. And we're putting on more shorts out as well, the stories. Oh, I got a funny comment last night on my YouTube. I posted a picture on Instagram. It's 11 hours from us. Sydney, still in the past, but 11 hours behind. Oh yeah, I got a... Because we've had, what, Vampire? What I sound like? And then one before that, Harry Potter movie character. Don't know which one, never seen it. But yeah, last night we got a good one. And that was... awful. Sounds like Hannibal Lecter. Awful. Like what? But then the other comment I got just a few hours before that was, "You're a true expert." Isn't it interesting how you can have polarizing views, which I'm at peace with. So I don't mind too much. So my reply to the awful sounds like Hannibal Lecter was, don't give up on hypnosis sessions. Find someone who resonates with you, Clarice. Hypnosis is so amazing. It's helping people. You've got this, Joseph. So even if you get some haters or some negative comments, it's okay. What is it? You can't please everyone all the time. But something other the time, all the time, none of the time. I think that's pretty much the quote. Yeah, they must have just watched the movie. Like you said, Tanya, earlier. Just like Anthony Hopkins, right? So just watch the movie. But it's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's just comments. It's not an absolute, but it's going to be like this for everyone. If you're going to get anywhere, you're going to get people who aren't going to like us, right? Like, they might not like the way you look or speak. They might not like what you're doing. And that's absolutely fine. It really is. Sometimes you might be even more worried. Maybe you don't want the negative, but it'd be kind of almost too worrying if everyone was 100% fine and good, because then you might fall into complacency. So maybe there are things I need to change or grow or adapt. But yeah, and I made sure that I put Clarice in the reply, just in case they were called Clarice, because they might have just not liked it because of that reason. But also when they hear that, then they go, oh, I'm going to try other hypnosis stuff. So it helps. So if you do get any negative feedback, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Because it's so easy to go down a list of reviews and then go, oh, that's good, that's good. Ah, that's a negative one. And focus your attention on that one. I do it still. Being human and all, but you gotta kind of put yourself in check and go, do you know what? It's fine. Absolutely fine. As long as you interrupt that as soon as it comes in, like a negative, because maybe there's slightly something you got to change. Maybe it's about their own stuff. Maybe it's just you don't get on with them. Exactly, there you go. Actually, there's number 2 on my list of... Because I did it before I got the comment, but there's one of the things I'm going to be talking about. Like the none of your business. Which I always like to say. I did not put that on my notes. So thank you for that. After all that typing and tapping, I don't know where it went because it's not there. So I'll just remember. Who knows? Yeah, with the vampire one. Almost had them. Almost had them. It's interesting because I can never see what like the emojis are. So chill with a cat, I guess. So now I see on the YouTube live, is that a box and a cat? If it is, it's very much Schrodinger's drink. Schrodin. I can't even say his name anymore. Schrodinger's. I can't even say it. Why can't I say that name? Like I said, there's just... If they don't like it, they don't like it. It's fine. Sometimes, I mean, the other thing is, look, people just type things all the time online, right? They don't think about it. I don't think they would say, unless they're really like, really mean. You wouldn't go up to a random person on the street and just go, you sound like Hannibal Lecter. But, you know, that's just the internet these days. It happens. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And someone commented on one of my posts once, and I said it in one of the episodes. But if you shine so bright, if you shine bright, you will blind others. And also, if you're up here, some people might want to pull you down, right? They might want to pull you down because of their own stuff. What do they call it in England? Tall poppy syndrome. So if you've got all these poppies and there's one right at the top, like, it's easy for people to go, well, I'm going to take that tall poppy down. Exactly. What they used to call them? I don't really hear these days, like, but the keyboard warriors. It's like... But like I said, I'm fine with it. I thoroughly accept it. That's what I was trying to be funny. And I say try because no one mentioned it on Instagram. No one saw that. No one said, "Hi, you said Clarice." But I thought it'd be funny. Which kind of softens up. Hopefully they and that's the other thing. You don't get tone. So hopefully they got it as more being more lighthearted rather than me being mean. Because it was meant to be funny. See my language again. Not a tall puppy. That totally changes the image. Especially what I said after that. Tall poppy. Tall poppy. It's weird, when I think of tall poppy, I just think of tall sunflower. That's the image that comes into my mind. Dun. I'm just going to check something. Am I live on... No, I'm not. I'm meant to be live on Kick as well, but I'm not. I don't know why that came into my mind. Yeah, it's funny. Exactly. But yeah, and the sleep sessions. The sleep sessions would be a bit of a bugger, wouldn't it? So it's just obviously being English, Tanya. I must have just mispronounced again. It's another thing I do. I do that sometimes. Anyway, it's nice to have fun though as well, right? Please, I corrected that. Or you corrected the image though. So should we get on today's episode? It's 22 minutes past the hour, which makes it 38 minutes to the hour. Oh, okay. We're talking about cats. That's why. So that's interesting, right? That is the power of suggestion. 22 is a perfect 22. I'm pleased that you go by the 24-hour time because oh, look at this. Get to it in a moment, but I use the 24-hour clock as well. But also I got a nice, just right now, I got a nice little spam message. And it says, I'm going back to San Francisco tomorrow. Are you free to have dinner together? I don't want to put their number out there, although it's spam. I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. Are you free to have dinner tomorrow? See, I've just got a great weekend ahead. I got a dinner. I mean, it's spam, but maybe I'll go up to San Francisco. How? It's like probably a 10, 12-hour drive. If I leave early in the morning, will I make the spammer? Because I don't want to eat spam. The spammer's dinner in San Francisco. Are you free to have dinner together? A mystery dinner. That's pretty cool, right? I've been invited out on a, I don't know if it's a date. I don't know if it's just well, it's obviously a blind date / friend. But it could be just a friend, right? Never had those. Maybe I should reply back. Awesome. Where should we go to dinner? Can't wait. Maybe we should do that. I got itchy nose, by the way, since before the stream. But yeah, how cool is that? Got a dinner tomorrow night. Could be vampires, but I'm one of them. So it'd be fun. Yeah, that or my money's all gone. But so did you ever hear about the Thanksgiving story before we start? It's a cool one. Have you heard about the Thanksgiving story? Let me know in the chat. You're probably like, well, there's probably millions. So there was a, it must have been in text, but there was this, I think it was a lady and a husband, if not a lady, says, are you coming over to Thanksgiving? And it was a mistake number. And this guy replies back and goes, I think you got the wrong number or something like that. But they actually go to the Thanksgiving dinner because like the son couldn't make it. And they've been having Thanksgiving dinners like every year. Of course, every year. Let me just see if I can get it. Thanksgiving. Here we go. So I'm going to just read it out. Grandmother mistakenly invited a stranger to Thanksgiving. 6 years later, they're still celebrating the holiday together. How cool is that? So the message was, Thanksgiving dinner is at my house on November the 24th at 3 p.m. Let me know if you're coming. Hope to see you all there. Of course, that includes Amanda and Justin. And the person goes, who is this? The person goes back, your grandmother. Grandmother, can I have a picture? Of who? You. And then she sends a picture of herself. And then, yes, I'm here at work. And then the guy puts another bag, you're not a picture of him. So you're not my grandma. Can I still have a plate though? And then the grandmother goes back, of course you can. That's what grandmas do. Feed everyone. And then, so it happened. How cool is that story? So cool. And they've been meeting up. I like it anyway. So just type in online Thanksgiving stranger text message or something and it should show up. I liked it. Yeah. I like the part where that's what grandmothers do. Yeah. It is sweet. Yeah. So I'm going to take a quick screenshot. I'll go back so you can just see the picture. Oh, forward. Because I'm not very good at sharing screens, but I can send pictures. I'm going to zoom it down. And then take a screenshot here. And I'll try and put it on my screen. And then I'll take one more. Before we start. Okay, so, is that true? Let me change this screen. Let me bring up my folder. Because I said I can't share screens very well. My iCloud storage is almost full. This is... Oh, sorry. I'll just move that. So I said, she said, oh, I'm your grandmother. Here I am at work. And then he sends this picture back saying, you're not my grandmother. Can I still get a plate though? And of course, that's what grandmothers do. And then this is as time has gone by. Oh my goodness. Oh no. See, it is why I shouldn't be... I don't know what happened there. I can do that one. And let me just make it smaller and then save it. Adjust size. Let's just put it down to 700 and see what happens. Go onto this monitor. There you go. And now they're a happy family. Lunch date with my other grandmother. I don't know what that says. Super cool, right? Yeah. But you can look that up. Let's get into today's episode. There's going to be episode 890. We're almost at 900. So we're talking about today 7 qualities of successful people. What I've been thinking about recently. Yeah, it has been many years and I keep doing it, right? And you say now he has a wife and child and go every year. Ah, that's a shame. But yeah, they're like family. Exactly. You have 2 families, right? The ones that you were born with and then the ones you get to choose. And in this case, a great coincidence. It's so funny though. Let's send them the picture back. Okay, let's get into today's episode. We are late, so maybe let's do a short episode. We shall see how far we get going into it. See where Mrs. C is walking off to. I think we'll be good. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 890. And today we're talking about the type of qualities, mindsets, and traits in order to be a success. So I've worked with lots of successful people in different realms as well, from athletes to film director specifically, and mainly more entrepreneurs and business people or professionals who are going real high up the ladder. And I've tend to notice certain things, and of course with my research with just general autobiographies, because I like reading or listening to autobiographies of successful people because there's always something to learn. And I thought it'd be a good idea to maybe just kind of summarize certain qualities, just the 7, that will allow you to hopefully apply or at least recognize maybe times where you've been successful and how to then repeat it or keep on adding more of it. So that means you get more success in your life in any endeavor. So it can be for anything from the external goals that you have to the internal goals that you have. So in other words, when I ever say internal to external is something more like, I want this amount of money, I want this amount of career, I want this kind of relationship or this kind of house or car. So something external. Or internal is more of like an internal state. So it could be free of anxiety, free of not being good enough or the imposter syndrome, and to be confident, whole, successful on the inside, whatever it is. So I don't really mind, and usually they're both anyway. But I want you to have in your mind maybe a goal, internal, external, or both, to be able to maybe apply it, because it's nice to have that in your mind, for that means you'll be able to adjust the inner relationship of that thing. So the one thing I tend to talk a lot when it comes to transformation, which I'm just going to summarize as awakening, and that is where you decide that the consequence of not changing is so bad, even it means just kind of staying the same, but that consequence of staying the same makes you go, oh my goodness, I need a wake-up call, the awakening, to actually do something about my life. If you look at all the successful people, it wasn't in times of peace and happiness, it was in the innovation was only really present in the dark times or in the confusion or when we have lack of options. So there is always that part of us where we go, I've got to change. I need to change. I want to change because I am fully aware of the consequences of not changing. And I'm fully aware of the consequences if I do change. So all transformation, where it be getting that external goal and outcome, comes from a place of awakening that I cannot keep on staying the same. I cannot keep on repeating the same old thoughts, feelings, or experiences. In other words, it could be like, I cannot, and I'm willing to no longer put up with that level of relationship anymore. I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of being used and abused. Or it could be I'm just tired of being in poverty. I mean, you think about it. Most successful people, especially in athletes and entrepreneurs, they usually tend to come from backgrounds where they do not have the affluence. So it's like that driving force where they go, I've got to change. I am not prepared to stay in poverty, or I'm not prepared to stay in this toxic environment. It's a wake-up call. So number 1, and it's like the beginning trait, is rising to the call, right? Awakening that there has to be a different way, that they're not prepared to stay the same. Now, the other thing that we have to do, number 2, and it almost like goes into it, because every time you are in a situation, say that toxic environment, whether it be relationship, career, whether it be in just friends and family, when you start to move out of that because you've had this awakening, you will get resistance. You will absolutely get resistance because you are doing something different from the norm of that environment. So if you've grown up in poverty and you decide that you want to be really, really abundant for many different reasons, so it could be just for a preservation, it could be for charity or mission and ambition, but you are going to get some pushback and some resistance from your present environment, right? You've got to be prepared for that. That there's going to be external noise that is going to try to drown out that internal awakening. You may hear people say, well, who are you to achieve that goal? I mean, what can you possibly do this? Look at your past. Look how we've grown up. How are you meant to be able to achieve X, Y, Z? Like, it is going to happen. And I'm sure you can imagine how, because of that surrounding, we have so much noise. And then if you layer on beyond the present company of that environment, so then you add into like society, it is so easy to then go, there's too much noise, there's too much things going on. And there's, weirdly enough, big trucks going by with lots of noise right now. So you might even hear that in the audio. It is going to happen metaphorically and in reality. There's going to be noise trying to drown out that desire and even your verbalization of trying to express to people that you're not prepared to stay the same. Even beyond that, it may be the case of not just your environment of your family and your friends and people in your close proximity. It might not even be just society when it comes to those expectations. It could be even economically. Sometimes the economy might be going like, look, there's no way you can be financially abundant in this economy. There's no way you can do this because everything else is showing up that you cannot. But at the end of the day, in every economy, there's someone actually winning. Whether we like it or not, there's always an opportunity. So when the noise is really, really big and loud, one of the traits of successful people is to try your very best, or what they do is cancel that noise. Like, to understand, and one of the ways I tend to do this, so I don't know how everyone who is successful does this, but what I personally do is become at peace with the noise. Like, that's a form of silencing. Like, I can understand why maybe a family member or a friend would say that thing to me, because they're just operating from what they've always been told or what they've always experienced. And then I go, well, what's mine is mine and what's theirs is theirs. And that means I don't need to take it on. I don't have to like embody that sound and that voice. It is simply what they're going through. And that allows the noise, to me personally, to diminish, right? It just diminishes, at the very least, the meaning of that voice, the meaning of that noise. It is not mine, it is just their opinion, right? It is just their opinion, and as I say, other people's opinions do not have to be your business. And it can be hard, and some people will kind of push back to that. It's like, you don't know what it's like to be this way with this thing. And I understand it, I get it. When I started at 18 years old, wanting to be a therapist, a hypnotist, a hypnotherapist, a coach, I got a lot of pushback saying, look, you're too young to be a coach at 18 years old. What life experience have you had? But I did it anyway, because one of the reframes I had was that I haven't been programmed for many, many years. Like, I let go of my issue, like, yeah, had it for 18 years still, but I didn't have the prolonged programming, so I could hopefully think differently. So it was a reframe for me. So your job is to reframe the noise, to reframe and diminish it as much as possible. And that leads me into the third one, and that is what I'm going to call like evolution. You see, if you have awakened to the call that you have to change because you're number one, you are consciously aware of the consequences of not changing and of changing, that you cannot live in the middle road. The number two, you start to cancel out, diminish, or reframe that noise, so therefore silencing it to a degree. We then have to step into evolution, which is beginning to attract people of an alike mind. Like that, and there's a number of reasons for why I believe this is to be very powerful. Number one, if you attract people into your life who are successful, and it could be in the endeavor, an outcome that you actually want, or it could be just someone who is very successful in another endeavor, but they still have the same characteristics or attributes needed to be successful that you can learn from. Because what it does is it gives you evidence that it is possible. If we think of number one and two, we've been surrounded in the environment and the people that we do not have counter evidence of what is possible. So once you start to do number one and two, you want to surround yourself with hopefully like a tight circle of people that can actually lift you up, that you are absolutely willing to do the same as well, because that's going to be tricky. You need to be the type of person in their life as much as you want them in your life. Like, it can't be a one-way energy. I always like to think as a coach that all transformation is a cooperative flow of energy, right? It's between me and the person. It's not a one-way thing. It's not a do-to process, it's a do-with process. And I like to think that is when you're with your new circle of people, the people who are feeling really good about going for their goals and dreams, and they're motivated, well, you've got to step into that role for them when they need it. But it does come with a little caveat to that as well, because the analogy I was thinking of was this. I'm sure you've heard of it. Like, you can be a small fish in a small pond, or a small fish in a big pond. In other words, look, you could be in this environment, this small environment, or maybe a big fish in a small pond. Maybe I meant to say that, but either way, a fish in a pond, right? Big and small. If you stay in this small pond, it becomes your comfort zone. And it is easy to be a big fish in a small pond, right? Because you've been there for a long time. It's not that big to explore. You know everything inside out of this small metaphorical pond. And then when you kind of step into the big pond, now you are perceived like the small fish, right? Like, there's so much unknown territory. And that is why I always like the words, the map is not the territory. Like, you have the map of your world, but there's so much more to explore out there, unknown territory, which will actually allow you to expand your consciousness and your success. So how do we apply it into this number three, the evolution of being connected with a like-mind energy and individuals? And another word that I always, or a sentence I like, is being the stupid person in the room. Now, it might be a bit negative in the sense like being stupid, and we don't really mean that, or whoever coined the term didn't mean that. It's just saying that when you don't have the knowledge compared to someone else, you are in a place of being able to learn to get better. Like, if you surround yourself with very intelligent people and successful people, you are going to move up into that level. You do not want to be the most cleverest, most successful person, because you don't get an opportunity to learn or grow. That's really the definition of being a big fish in a small pond. You want to be able to work with people, collaborate with people, brainstorm, mastermind with people, whether it be, like I said, in the endeavor of your goal or outcome, or just successful individuals. And that's the beauty of my work. I get to speak to a lot of people who are successful and to model them to get better, whilst being my clients. And obviously we've then become friends and all those kind of things. But I get that observation of successful traits, and it tends to happen over and over again. The ability to surround yourself with people who are successful, but also better than you in different areas, which allows you to expand your comfort zone and go into unknown territory with excitement and curiosity. One of the foundational aspects, which is number 4 though, I'm just going to kind of call it mission. Most successful people have the ability to hold in their mind the absolute desire of the outcome what they want, and it's coupled up with that mission. That is what makes it easier. If there's something greater than yourself, you feel obligated to do this goal and outcome. Like if you feel obligated, you've got to do it. There's an obligation. And if you're doing it for other people, you feel even better in that obligation. And therefore, if you have the mission, the vision, and the ambition to ferociously hold it in your mind's eye, when you wake up in the morning, throughout the day, here and there, checking in as you go to sleep at night, you are just focusing on that one outcome. You are telling your unconscious mind that this is our destination. You're not focusing on other things. You're not focusing on fear, worry, doubt, and we'll get into that soon as well. But just having that absolute image in your mind through the thoughts, the sounds, the feelings, the smells, and the tastes, having that ferociously in your mind. Well, I say ferociously, but you can use other words, but just holding that mission and vision on that one thing, your ability to take responsibility to maintain it over and over again until your unconscious mind gets it, it will allow you to program the seeds to your unconscious mind that this is what we're after. And that's where I like to think that moral obligation, this is why I've got to change. This is what I've got to do. It becomes a good necessity. You get to do the work. You get to be able to go on this journey of transformation. And the other little side bit to this is the most successful people have that mission and that vision and that ambition, but it's not about many things. Like they're not trying to spin many plates. They're usually focusing on the one thing that will give them the everything. And when people tend to trip up, especially in personal transformation, which I talk about a ton, is most people, and understandably why, focus on all the things to try to get the everything. And my analogy is, look, most people focus on what they feel the most. They focus on the anxiety, the worry, the doubt, the fear, the anxieties, the imposter syndrome, all the symptoms, where really you've got to focus on the cause of those symptoms. Those symptoms are what we feel most of the time, but they will lead us to the cause of all of those symptoms. And it's the same thing with success. Most people who are successful become so focused on the one thing that will allow them to make the change in everything. And I think I talked about that on just maybe the one before this episode. But for me personally, when I've been really successful, oh yeah, well, we did, right? The 10x, like you got the 2x thinking, the 10x thinking. When I go all out on one thing, when I call it ferociously focus on something, you can change the word as I said. When I do that, success is pretty much a given for me. Like if I go all in on the podcast, which I did, it grew. I didn't know how. I just went all in and did it. When I did it with other aspects, like I said, going to Thailand for a couple of months, running, not being able to run half a mile without feeling I was going to faint and fall over, to be able to run around the whole island of Koh Samui, which I think, I forgot now, but it's like 30 miles, like all one straight, even if it's 25, but I think it's 30, going around that within, it was actually 6 weeks, was crazy. But I went all in on that one thing to be able to be in that place, to be fit at the regardless of other things. And to add to that, be at peace with imbalance by being more harmonious. For this goal, you're going to give up something, and then you're going to get that giving up later if you want to. Like, you may have to give up certain things that you do every morning or every day, or maybe Netflix, like we said on that episode, social media, going out with your friends temporarily to go all in on that one thing. The other thing, number 5, is resiliency. The person with the most adaptability controls a situation. It is just what it is, right? If you are going to be successful, you're going to get that noise. You're going to get trials and tribulations. You're going to get feedback where people say no. You're going to get so-called failures. But those who are successful take those so-called failures and use them as learnings to grow better, right? So the resiliency to, like the previous one, maintain that mission and vision and do whatever it takes. The resiliency to be able to move yourself by waking up to the consequence. The resiliency to move out that toxic environment potentially into the new one. The resiliency to find people who are of a like mind to lift you up as you are. The downsides, the failures, as I said, the resiliency to keep on moving forward is an absolute vital success trait. It's almost like the patience to endure whatever we're going through in order to reap the success that we truly desire. This pain of moving from where you are is temporary. What is not temporary is staying the same. Like staying the same in pain or in scarcity, in lack of finances or bad relationships or bad health. Staying the same is painful. So that's number 1. But then as we move forward to maintain the endurance and the patience to go through that is actually easier than staying the same. But it's still a real big quality that you have to be resilient to that mission and vision and ambition. Number 6, to me, is simply doing the work. A bit like I said on the number 4, you are going to have to give up some aspects. You are going to feel uncomfortable because you're doing something different than you've ever done before, moving from the small pond to the big pond, moving out that toxic environment. But if you keep doing the work, you will get that. It may not be as quick as you want, but you may be surprised it may be quicker than you could imagine. But doing the work, having that level of sacrificing who you are to be the person you want to become, is going to allow you to get to do what you want to be. And I always say, you get to do the work. You get to develop yourself. You have that freedom. That is the powerful choice that we have, that we get to do the work day in, day out in order to achieve the success we want. Like, for example, in my main program, it's 8 weeks. You have to do the work for 8 weeks. It takes like a couple of weeks, but you still got to do it for 8 weeks. But on the other side of 8 weeks, if you do the work fully and completely, I know the transformation's going to be there. The learnings are going to get you safer than ever before, that you're going to have a closer relationship with your unconscious mind to get the feelings on demand. But you have to show up. You got to do the work. I could go to a personal trainer but miss the sessions, not turn up late, like half hour in, and then just do another half hour. I'm not doing the real work. In any endeavor of success, you've got to sometimes sacrifice aspects, get up that bit earlier, go to sleep that bit earlier or later, depending. You sacrifice aspects of things you enjoy to temporarily focus on that one thing to do what you want. And then number 7, probably one of the biggest ones, of course, is the absence of self-limiting beliefs. If you are successful, or if you want to become successful, you have to try to systematically let go of the limiting beliefs within your unconscious, we'll say, right? Because consciously, I don't think they're really there, because if you did, why would you hold them on if you were consciously in control of them? So it must be unconscious. And that's good news, because that means it's in your control. But you've got to Do whatever it takes to do the previous one, do the work, to have the absence of limiting beliefs. You might not have the absence of fear. It can be there. You may have some anxiety and some worries and doubts, but deep down within your fundamental identity, you've got to go, I am worth this goal, consciously and unconsciously. I am more than good enough. I am capable. I am worthy and deserving and able to achieve this. When you have that undeniable absence of limiting, the absence of limiting beliefs, you fall into congruency, consciously and unconsciously. It's like if you have the beliefs, the limiting beliefs, you're dragging your unconscious mind to that success. And that is hard because the unconscious mind's going to be going, look, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, as you're trying to drag your unconscious mind to the outcome. That's a lot of dead weight to kind of pull to get to your outcome. But if you can get on your side, the unconscious mind, in the most beautiful, loving way, that your unconscious mind becomes your biggest cheerleader to success, that, look, yeah, of course you're worthy. Of course we're going to do this. You are deserving. That absence of limiting belief that turns into the fulfillment of I can and will do this, it allows 100% of you, consciously and unconsciously, to be congruent and aligned with your outcome. If you adjust 10-20%, let's think about this as an analogy real quick. Let's say you got point A to point B, and it's a direct line. Like we're in a plane, for example. There's no obstacles in the way. If you are 100% congruent and aligned from A to B, you're going to get there. It's just a direct line. Now imagine in mind that you have 20% slightly going to a different direction, or maybe going backwards. So if you got 20% going backwards, 80% going forward, you're going to get there so much slower, right? You got that 20% of drag time that is kind of holding you back. If we then go on the width ways, if we're going 10% to the right or 10% to the left, you've missed that target, right? So you need to get your unconscious mind on form and in alignment by letting go of the limiting beliefs, because that identity of the limitation creates, or let's take it down, the limiting belief. If you have a limiting core belief, it limits your capacity, it limits your behavior, it limits how you operate in the environment. If you now change it to I am good enough and I'm worthy, now your capacity is expanded. Now your behaviors are on a multiple level of adaptation, and therefore what you do in your environment gets the success, and it feeds back to that identity of, yeah, I'm enough. So as a quick recap, we must awaken to what is important to us. Be aware of the negative consequences of not changing, because they're going to be there anyway. So bring them to mind and go, I'm not prepared to do this, and I'm only going to go all in on what I want. Number two, to silence the external noise, or to diminish it, or to reframe it. Knowing that if you are going to change from who you are to who you want to be, people may not like it in your environment. You're going to have to be at peace with that. And number three, to be able to associate and connect with a like-minded individuals who have the same kind of attributes and qualities that you want, that you can also add to in the relationships or friendships with those people. Being, like I said, the dumbest person in the room, because that means that I can only learn and grow. Of course, we want to be able to contribute. Like I said, it's just a saying that people say. So then number four, to have the ambition, the mission to do whatever it takes, to hold it consistently in your mind, to go, I'm all in on this, I'm focusing on this, and it's my moral obligation to achieve this goal and outcome. To then number five, have the resiliency to keep on going forward, knowing there's going to be the noise, knowing there's going to be failures that you can learn and grow from. Number six, in doing the work, you got to do the work. And then number seven, to do whatever it takes to let go of any limiting belief. You have to have the absence of limiting belief. Not from false confidence, by the way. I'm saying get to a place where you are confident and competent in your own mission, vision, and ambition, what is in your heart and on your heart, that you're going to go, I am 100% congruent to my goal and outcome, to avoid any lag time or being put off course because your unconscious mind is going in a different direction, or at very least holding you back. So I hope you got value from this. 7 traits that you can start to apply into your life in any endeavor. Of course, if you ever want to personally work with me, you've got to be a professional. You've got to be able to be a go-getter. You've got to be financially even invested, because it's not a free program. You don't have to do this. In fact, I try to, weirdly enough, repel people, because I want to make sure they're the perfect fit for me and I'm the perfect fit for them. You can go ahead to josephclough.info/talk, where you have to fill out an application form. And then once you've done that, you'll book a time to have your consultation. And on that consultation, we'll get clear on what's getting in your way, how you want to be. And if we can kind of bridge the gap, we'll definitely show you and tell you on the call and say 100% we can let it go. And if not, we try to point to a different direction. But if you want to call with us, it is a one-to-one call with us. It will allow you to be able to just get the clarity, and we'll be able to say if we can get the success for you or not. But once again, you gotta be a professional, ready to do whatever it takes, and do what has to be done. So that's just josephclough.info/talk. But other than that, let's get to work. Let's do what has to be done, live up to that mission and vision and ambition. And I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Many thanks and goodbye. Welcome back. I saw it. In fact, I think that was the latest request. Maybe we'll try and do it on Wednesday. Hey, Med, no problems. You always get the replay as well. Hope you're having fun. I don't know if you've moved on yet. Where was it? You were going somewhere. You were at Charlottesville? We're going towards Charlottesville? Or Charlotte? I always get those two confused. Is Charlottesville in Charlotte? Or is it different places? Oh, you're still in Tampa. Okay. But there you go, my friends. We did it. We did episode 890. And thank you. With a wonderful profile picture. Not that I'm saying that's your profile picture, because I know you don't look like that. But thank you so much. Oh, that's right. It was Dallas as well. Okay, and Charlottesville was last year. Thank you, my friend, and thank you ever so much. 890 episodes done. I've got to edit this. Get it preloaded. Got to plan tomorrow's call. And then, obviously, early night, I think. Oh, I've actually got to go to San Francisco, though. I should plan for that. I haven't replied back though, so we'll see. Well, it'll be nice to be rekindled with them, reconnected with them. And thank you, Mina. Yeah, awakening, silencing, evolution, mission, resiliency. Oh, doing the work in absence, limiting belief. No, I'd have to ask them, wouldn't I? Maybe I'll choose a fancy one. I'm not sure I want to go to San Francisco at the moment. I have been there before, a couple of times, I think. Or at least, what, once or twice. My goodness. I'm joking. No, but maybe it's a good one. I'm going back to San Francisco tomorrow. Oh! See, this is why words are important. I'm going back to San Francisco tomorrow. Are you free to have dinner together? That could also mean that they're leaving tomorrow, and therefore they want dinner wherever they are. Maybe they are. Now, I don't want a nap today. No naps today. I got things to do. So maybe they are nasty, because if you think about it, I'm going back to San Francisco tomorrow. Are you free to have dinner together? Like, if you just added a word, are you free to have dinner tonight? Because I'm leaving for San Francisco tomorrow. So the plot has thickened and twisted. Maybe what if I went to San Francisco now and they were not there at all? They were just leaving there tomorrow. Then I'd still be there. I'd be like, surprise. I don't know. Maybe I do actually know them. They just got a different number. But probably a spam. But I could do with a dinner. If they'll pay. Yeah, we'll see if I show up. That'll be the best tell sign that it didn't go well, if I don't show up. There'll be a good little cliffhanger though, wouldn't it? I'll explore. I'll check out what their area code is. And if I'm not here, yeah, that will be the cliffhanger. If I show up or I don't. We shall see. Was it spam? A mystery? Was it a conspiracy? Was it a entrapment of something bad? Thank you so much. You have a good weekend. Who's the closest in to search party? So probably my friend Rich or Melissa, my ex, because she has who we co-parent Sebastian. Yeah, those would be up there, I think. So reach out to them. Reach out to them. Thank you so much. Very, very kind. By the way, I'm not, of course, following up on that text message because it's clearly spam. So the mystery diminished. So thank you ever so much, everybody, for being here. Hit that thumbs up. We've only got 11 thumbs up so far. We usually get about 20. What happened? Is it a Friday, Saturday, depending where in the world? And therefore you don't wanna? That is true. He can be my protector. The warrior and the protector. Before I yawn again, after this one, I will say thank you for being here. Have a good, wonderful weekend, and I look forward. I get lots of good spams. I have lots of WhatsApp spam of people wanting to connect. I had people at the airport once saying, I'm at the airport. Where are you? Maybe I'm just in for spam people. I'm in demand for them. You have a good one. I get like one every minute, I think. But yes, I will go now. So many thanks. Have a good weekend and good